but I think the computer for channel 8 is older than the equipment, than the nodes that are down there. Does that make sense? Than the channels.
Okay.
Okay.
But I know that it was working, and it still works because it currently puts up a slide, but then it also is currently putting up the Mill Creek supervisors meetings and all their additional PSAs. The quality's not very good. It's 4:3 standard definition. It's nothing to get excited about, but it does get it out there. And I'm confident that what we have works, for what that's worth. But I don't disagree at all with all these manpowers and such. That's where this comes in.
Well, yes, and I had a question. You were here when they were sharing the cost
Yes.
of the individuals, and that individual was cut. Can you recall how much the district paid the township to have that service available?
Nothing,
Because
the township paid us. We had 2 technical employees and 1 PR person, and I believe when they eliminated it, Mr. Hall could correct me, but I think we were at 175 or 200,000 for the department. It was in that ballpark.
No, if you're counting the PR person in there?
Yes, Erica, with
That'd probably be
Stu
about right,
and...
about 180,000.
Yep.
Yeah, but just for the individual.
We were getting, and I think we still do get some money from Time Warner.
25% subscriber.
So there is a small amount of money that comes in from Time Warner. What we had done is both of the technical people were employees of Mill Creek Township School District, and the township paid us. And now they're currently paying WQLN because we could no longer provide that. You know, we could hire, I had spoke with WQLN, and they were more than interested in doing it for us, but it's going to be for a cost. You know, and I think we would have to do a RFP possibly, because we were contacted by another individual that does freelance. So I'd love to see us do it with our people, but if we did it with outsiders, I would want a stipulation that we would utilize our students. I think that's absolutely a huge benefit, more so than anything, is that, you know, we could incorporate our students. And I would love if we could get back to filming a couple of the football games. Mr. Delfrat voiced a number of those games and such, and those kids were excited. They got to do 1 game a year on the Pennsylvania Cable Network, which gave them statewide exposure. But to me, it's all good. That's a great program.
Maybe a preliminary cost analysis assessment would be appropriate, and then you put out the RFP, and then you compare. I did see on YouTube there was a production here that I believe there was a psychologist or someone in the school district right before, I'm blocking on it right now, but I do have it. But there, you have done production.
And that's when we had the 2 full-time employees. They would go out, they'd have a script, they would sit down with those people, and they would record pre- and post-production and then post it.
Okay, and we don't have those individuals anymore?
Yeah, the 2 technical folks, one of them, at least half their salary was paid by the township, or possibly all of it? Half. I mean, those 2 folks have been gone for the better part of 2 years, so that the department was entirely eliminated. LeadCom was interested in the channel, but the township didn't want to give it up, and so they approached WQLN in order to keep it on there. So that's kind of the history behind it. But at this point, Channel 8 is still ours. It's readily available.
Thank you.
One of the things that removed that was for budget considerations. And I think we need to keep that in mind as we go forward here. I mean, we got a budget coming up, and before we start to spend money on something, I think we need to take a good look.
Oh, absolutely.
After the
We would need
budgets.
to do an analysis, but I think that we could get our meetings only for something in the teens, $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 a year, nothing that would approach $180,000.
Well,
But again, it depends on how we staff it and how much we do. Yeah, we certainly don't have $180,000 that I'm aware of, unless you got it in somewhere, you know, that we could use this. But I think I've been approached by a couple of the different board members here that would love to see it back. But I'm sorry for jumping in on yours. Please continue, because I appreciate the research you've done on this.
That's why we're here. And then again, it's on Channel 8. It would be program viewing time, again, only Tuesday at 2 p.m. or whatever that program happens to be written for. And that's if we take care of everything in-house and put it out on Channel 8. So no association with Channel 9. Yep, go ahead.
Why is the, and this has always been a contention with me, why is the equipment that the township uses in our building? And are they paying us for that? I mean, what's the cost consideration of that?
I think
Why
it's
are they
just,
coming over here?
I
Why
think
is
it's
it
a
over there?
courtesy because we have Mr. Leone, that's our AV guy and such, and it's just always been when the Time Warner put in the drop back in the days when it was
Well, who's paying the bill?
Erie County Cable, as far as,
Time Warner, maintenance,
I
whatever you
believe
want.
Time Warner maintains the connection, and then WQLN is doing some of it, and I'm sure we're using a little bit of our electricity, and when I say a little bit, it's probably $20 worth of electricity a month that we're needing, because it's plugged into our wall, but it's
You'd
not.
have to go back and look at the agreement, but I think they got the equipment, they would get the updated equipment and give it to us. Basically give it to us to let us continue to run and do their meetings, and there was some kind of agreement that,
And
we'll have to go back and take a look at it.
They have a franchise agreement with Times Warner, and as part of that franchise agreement, Times Warner is obligated to provide public broadcasting, and so I assume that's why you have Channel 8 and 9. Now, the equipment might be something over above that.
Well, that's fine, but it could be in their basement also, right?
Right, and
Good.
from what I know and understand is when they drop those lines in, it was decided to drop them here. Now, the township could choose to pick up that line and put it over there, but it would be over, like, it'd be tens of thousands of dollars, 10, 12, to just move, 200 yards down the road.
Wasn't it originally, a municipality has a right to cable access, public asset, cable, but a school district does not? I don't think the school district does, so if I remember correctly, the township, the deal between the township and the school district was, you get us Channel 9, and we'll get you the personnel, and we'll run this, and then the township could add at the time 50 cents per cable subscriber, which I think is now up to $1. And whatever they got that way, they just gave it to the school district. Didn't they give us some vans or something over the years, way back?
Harvard District.
Yes, they did.
That one van.
I don't know, I just,
To address Mr. Pike, I guess I'm gonna address you because I'm the historian here, I've got the years, but not much knowledge. The original agreement, you are absolutely correct. When it did start, the public access was granted to the township. And a cooperative agreement was made between the township and the district that as long as we house the equipment and we broadcast their meetings, then they would provide us with the channel access. And then at the time, at the original time of the agreement, it was a quid pro quo, it was pretty equal, okay, in terms of our efforts for them and their provision of Channel 8. As time did progress, we also got a van out of it, once, okay? And as everything started to develop and our Channel 8 became much more sophisticated, not just with board meetings, as Mr. Gould said, sporting events, clips about curriculum, and it really became a production. I mean, it was not, they were done professionally with editing and graphics, etc.
it was nice.
However, we were still carrying 95% of the financial burden to do Channel 8 and still do Channel 9. So the contribution from the township towards the end of the agreement was minimal in terms of what we were providing back to them. Okay? And quite frankly, I know Jamie is much more optimistic than I am, but even if the township were doing it on their own, I doubt very seriously if they would reciprocate over here because they were quite perturbed at us when we did eliminate Channel 8 on our side. So that has been a strained relationship in terms of that particular subject.
All right, I have one more option, and this is the internet streaming. Again, manpower still stays, pre and post-production still stays for that. The only main difference is it's web-based, so 24/7 online, post-production, but again, Channel 8 and Channel 9 would be no broadcasting. So you have your TV broadcast options, those are 3 of them. Township can do it all if they agree it. We record it, send them the media package, or we record it and repost it, or program it on Channel